Welcome to the Family Bible Journey. Every time you listen, you are a blessing and encouragement to us as we seek to leave the legacy of faith as we journey and journal through the Bible. So thanks for listening. This is episode 161, season 1 of the Family Bible Journey Old Testament podcast. Today we're looking at 1 Samuel chapters 7 and 8. The title of today's podcast is Samuel's Warning About Kings. And our key verses for today are chapter 8, verses 1 to 9, where we read, When Samuel became old, he made his sons judges over Israel. The name of his firstborn son was Joel, and the name of his second, Abijah, and they were judges in Beersheba. Yet his sons did not walk in his ways, but turned aside after gain. They took bribes and perverted justice. Then all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah, and said to him, Behold, you are old, and your sons do not walk in your ways. Now appoint for us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, Obey the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from being king over them, according to all the deeds that they have done, from the day I brought them up out of Egypt even to this day. Forsaking me and serving other gods, so they are also doing to you. Now then, obey their voice, only you shall solemnly warn them, and show them the ways of the king who shall rule over them. This is the word of the Lord. So Samuel is, in many respects, the last judge of Israel. And we see that very clearly in chapter 7, where he is the one who is judging Israel. We hear of the circuit that he would ride on an annual basis to hear their cases and to teach them in the Lord's way. But when they were faced with danger and when their enemies attacked, this desire for a king, it grew stronger and stronger to the point that they cried out to God and to Samuel, Give us a king. They wanted to be like all of the other nations. They wanted to have somebody fight their battles for them, somebody to deliver them from their enemies. But I'm not so sure that they knew exactly what they were asking. We do see that in early chapter 8, we read it in our key verses, that Samuel's sons proved unfaithful like the sons of Eli. And this is a sad state of affairs, especially when those who are the servants of the word turn aside after gain or take bribes or forsake the call that God has given them for some sort of earthly gains. And sadly, Samuel, even though he had been a faithful judge and a faithful priest, he is cast as the unfaithful sons, both of Eli's and his own, as far as how the people were treating him. And I have a note for those of you who are journaling with us through the Bible on chapter 8, verse 8. It says, Don't be surprised when people turn on you and don't give you the respect you deserve. If they can betray God, they can certainly betray you. Love and cherish faithful friends, and care for them as the rare blessing that they are. You see, the people here in this chapter are really turning against faithful Samuel. At the very same time, they are turning against their faithful God. In this theocracy, this theocratic government where God is their king, they had everything that they needed. He was appointing judges for them to lead them into battle and to fight their battles for them. He was teaching them. Their disputes and cases were being heard by judges. Everything that is needed by a people from their government is being satisfied in the theocracy, but they just aren't satisfied with it. They're looking over at the other nations of the world, and they just wanted a king, we are told. That's it. They just wanted a king. But Samuel warns them, as Moses had warned them, as Joshua warned them about kings. We know that God had made provision in the law of Moses for a king. And Moses said to the people back then, hundreds of years before the lifetime of Samuel, that a king would tax them, that we would take the best of their land, the best of their sons, the best of their daughters, and put them to his own purposes. Samuel echoes that same sentiment. And to have a king isn't in and of itself a bad thing. But when you put that much authority into one person, what this does is it speeds up change in society, especially if there isn't a good set of checks and balances in the system. And the king is really going to rule over the people in nearly all of the aspects of their earthly life together. There will still be priests. There will still be Levites who are going to lead the religious life of God's people. But the king is going to have pretty wide sway over their earthly affairs. And these kings, if they are faithful, are going to be a tremendous blessing to the people of Israel. But when they are unfaithful, as is the human disposition towards God and towards other human beings, watch out, because trouble is sure to follow. And I have a words of wisdom on chapter 8, verses 10 to 18. It says, when God gives us what we ask for, we often get more than we bargain for. And that is certainly going to play itself out with the kings of Israel. And so Samuel now is prepared by God to anoint that first king of Israel. And we are going to see Saul to be that first king chosen and anointed in our next Old Testament episode. If you'd like to let us know that you are either journaling with us through the Bible or reading through the Bible, whether it's for the first time or again, or if you'd like to host an event, please let us know by using the contact form at the website, familybiblejourney.com. Our blessing for today. When others turn on you, may you find your confidence in the one who is faithful. He will never leave or abandon you. Amen.